Da-na-na.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you would avoid any copyright strikes if you just hum all the songs instead of.
Welcome to Fade or Fly with Mike and the Feather, your weekly football podcast recorded right here in the heart of Sin City. Join Mike and the Feather as they dive into the world of sports bet predictions, game analysis, and serve up a healthy dose of Vegas-style humor. Whether you're looking to ride the winning streak or soar to new heights in your football knowledge, this is the podcast for you. Let's embark on this gridiron adventure together from the entertainment capital of the world.
Hey, welcome back. I can't believe it. Welcome back to week 9 of the NFL season and Fade or Fly with Mike and the Feather. I'm Mike.
And I'm the Feather. We're fully halfway into the season already. Is that crazy?
Basically, and we're actually into November as well. So time-wise, just things are continuing to fly. And I hope everybody had a happy Halloween. Can I ask you a question really quick?
Yes, sir.
I want to ask if it's too soon.
Well, it depends. If you ask Costco, Sam's Club, or any other retail store, we're a little bit late right now.
I think if you don't buy your Christmas stuff by November 8th of every year, you're screwed because nothing but patio furniture as far as the eye can see.
Pretty sure Halloween candy's in the same aisle as the Christmas stuff. So.
Well, you know what gets me is just funny here. We'll go a little bit off topic here. The official winter officially starts December 21st. So winter officially starts 4 days before Christmas. The funny thing is, all we're going to see now up until then is snowmen, reindeer, snowflakes, cold things that don't even exist. And on December 26th, it's like the whole world forgets that all of those things are even a part of winter, and we're moving on to spring. And I'm like, you guys do realize 5 days ago, it was just the start of snowman season. You would know from being from Wisconsin. I'm sure you've had your fair share of snow.
Never-ending snow and ice, but luckily living in Las Vegas now, snow is in the distant rearview mirror.
Yeah, I've been here for a few snowstorms. In fact, I have a photo somewhere of our backyard completely covered in snow. But that's not a very common occurrence. Kind of like the New York Giants winning, but hopefully this week that might be a little bit different because I'll be in attendance, bringing them all the good luck that I can. Gonna give my own tour of the stadium, and I'm gonna cheer. I mean, come on, hopefully we can beat. I mean, maybe you might have something to say on this one later. No spoilers, but
we'll have to compare the videos, guys, because if you haven't seen it, I did a video, Packers Raiders in the stadium. I did a full-on video, first time I ever did that on my own.
No, let's be fair of one thing. You took some video, and somehow there was no video of the actual game, and I edited it for you. So basically, this is still going to be me editing a video.
Like I said, that sounds like a challenge. Okay, I did a video. If you haven't seen it, go back and check. It's a couple of videos ago in our YouTube channel. But he will be going to the game and doing the same thing. And then you know what? Watch that one, and you can, in the comments below, say who did a better job. I feel like I did pretty good, but we'll see what happens.
You're just hoping there's like 5 minutes of me sobbing over another New York Giants loss at the end of that game.
That's like breathing.
All right, guys. Well, speaking of wins and losses, week 8 was pretty good. I mean, maybe you need to be sick more often because maybe while your sinuses are stuffed, your head is cleared because you had a very, very respectable 3-0-1 last week, and if it wasn't for the Washington Commanders trying to win a game with 1 minute to go, we would have had 4-0, but they went ahead and made a push, only losing by 7, and we had the Eagles -7 on that one.
-7, they're down 14, and they get a backdoor useless touchdown and cost us 4-0, but 3-0-1 plus 8 units, I'll take it all day long. Unfortunately, due to me being sick, I didn't get a chance to put out a parlay. Teaser parlay video, unfortunately for you guys, because I did go 4-0 on that, and it was an outstanding result. And I had a few people that were able to jump on it with me, but unfortunately, due to the fact that I was sick, I was not able to share that with you guys. But sorry about that. But it was a great week. It was a fun, entertaining week, and that's how I feel.
And really quick, let's look at those 4 scores from your 4 Take It to the Bank picks from week 8. All right, so moving into week 9, we have 5 Take It to the Bank picks of the week for you. Do 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 do.
Do,
Okay,
do, do,
now we're
do,
now we're
do.
into it.
Do, 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 cha-ching.
All right. Well, lucky you. You get to wake up very early again this week, because our first game is going to feature a 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time live from Germany matchup between the 6-2 Miami Dolphins and the 6-2 Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are only a 2-point favorite right now at home. Now, just some stuff about the meetings here. 31 times these two teams have played before, and Miami actually has a 1-game advantage. The last time these two teams met, Mahomes threw 3 interceptions. Last week didn't look so good either. He threw 2 against the Broncos. He was battling a flu, which Andy Reid says is gone now. But you do know personally from present experience that you get that flu. Sometimes, no matter how good your doctors are, you're going to have a little bit of a lingering cough or weakness. So here we go. Big game, big 6-2 game. What do you have?
Well, one key point to bring up right off the bat, if you believe in trends, Miami is in Germany right now. Currently, they've been there for a day, and the Chiefs are yet to have arrived. So, depending on how much you believe and how much stock you put in that, but the team that gets there early has been the winner more times than not by far, than the team that arrives later in the week. So take that with a grain of salt. Also, to take into consideration these days, something I never thought would actually play into a pick is Taylor Swift is not going to be at the game this week. So, Travis Kelce averaging over 100 yards total receiving yards with Taylor Swift, without, sitting under 50. So you go ahead and you buy into that what you want, but
to be fair, the man did play a few other seasons as well without her there, but it seems like this now has this is what they've been talking about for the past week since that game against the Broncos.
But now he's a more older, sensitive man in his feelings. So maybe he's actually a little bit of sadness when he's not in the vicinity. He's getting to be that middle-aged, getting the knock towards that 40. So
it sounds like here you might be leaning towards Miami.
Well, I mean, as far as it goes, I got a few more things to talk about. I mean, bottom line, I'm excited for this game. As exciting as you can be for 6:30 in the morning football. Okay, we'll start with that. Kansas City, those wide receivers are terrible. They're just a notch above your dumpster fire. MVS made some whining comment. If you say who MVS is, if you're asking me who MVS is, that's my point. Nobody hardly knows the guy, but he felt the need to whine about going to Germany. Guess what? If you keep playing the way you're playing, next year you won't have to worry about it because you're going to be in the XFL playing for the Rock. So, on to that.
Hey, look, I'll take a free flight to Germany, and I will not catch footballs for a few $1 million too. Hell, even $100,000, I'll do it. Just call me.
Yeah, I know. What a rough life for him. I don't want to get in a plane 8 hours and go to Germany. Well, how about just catch a ball? Because you're probably not going to catch one. So, Tyreek Hill, he's the story right now. Tyreek Hill is the most yards in the first 8 games of an NFL season for a wide receiver. Outstanding. 61 receptions, 1,020 yards or so, 8 touchdowns. A.J. Brown is having an outstanding season in a run of like 5 or 6 games of 125-plus yards per game. Miami is going to get a little help back from the defensive backfield. Starting cornerback Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey are going to get to play together for the first time this season. As far as that goes, that only spells more doom for the already lethargic, pathetic Kansas City wide receiving core. They're going to be down one Justin Ross, seeing how the best thing he could do is spike a phone on the ground because he sure isn't getting touchdowns to spike a football. So he's taking care of some domestic issues. He's on the commissioner's exempt list. Probably should be out of the league, but I guess we'll let the process play out. Something else that the Kansas City Chiefs are leading in the last couple of years is most court cases by either coaches or players. They have one coach now sitting in prison and one player that's probably going to be heading there as well. So, just food for thought on that topic of where the Kansas City Chiefs are from a morality standpoint. Patrick Mahomes has been a turnover king the last couple weeks. He had 2 interceptions and 1 fumble lost last week. So we'll see if he can get back on track. He did have the flu and wasn't feeling great. But then again, the whole season he hasn't been exactly lighting it up. But, of course, he always seems to find a way by the time the season gets over to play lights out. So maybe this is just a typical process that he goes through in the beginning. That being said, the Dolphins, baby. Take the Dolphins all day long, +2 2 units. They're going to win this game outright, so you do what you want to do. You can take the points. I just, take the points +2. Otherwise, if you want a little gravy, moneyline Dolphins. We're going to find out exactly how fraudulent the Kansas City Chiefs are at this moment. They are the worst 6-2 team in the history of the NFL. Bottom line, this team, their defense has been bailing them out. They've had a very easy schedule, and the one good team they played beat them. And you're going to find out right now when Miami takes them to the woodshed for the whole world to see. We're going to find out exactly where Miami's at. We're going to find out that the Chiefs are fraudulent. So take Miami to the bank. Our buddy Anthony's going to be happy to hear that. Go Anthony, go fish all day long. Boom.
You're going to hear the Dolphins leave in saying so long and thanks for all the fish. And for anybody who gets that reference, leave a comment in the comments down below. This game looks completely different than it would have a week ago. The 4-4 Minnesota Vikings at the 4-4 Atlanta Falcons playing at 1:05 Eastern Time. Falcons are a 4-point favorite at home. The last time these two met, it was Kirk Cousins versus Matt Ryan. Neither of those will be playing in the NFL this week for different reasons for both of those two. The Falcons are going to be starting one-time Washington Commander quarterback Tyler Heineke. Heineke's kind of fun to say.
Taylor Heineke.
Well, that's fun to say too. Taylor Swift, Tyler Swift, it's the same thing.
Taylor Swift, Taylor Heineke.
So yes, quarterback Heineke will be playing against rookie Jaron Hall. Vikings having lost Kirk Cousins for the season.
Kirk Cousins did an Aaron Rodgers and tore his Achilles heel, and the guy was having a great year. I mean,
probably best career year.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, take nothing away. I can't stand the Vikings. I'm a dire Packer fan, of course, but Kirk Cousins was lighting it up. That offense was looking good. They just were off the heels of beating the San Francisco 49ers. They're 4-4, but now they got Josh Dobbs. They just picked up in free agency. He'll be ready in a week or two. I don't see much hope for this team. I think that they're going to have a huge letdown, whereas the Falcons, they're sitting 4-4. The last couple games, their offense has been really good. A lot of turnovers. Unfortunately, Desmond Ridder has been turning the ball over a lot, and that's why Desmond Ridder is no longer the starting quarterback. In comes Taylor Heineke. He's a favorite of the guys in the locker room. A lot of energy, funny guy, and we saw last year he found a way to play really well and win some football games. So I think in Atlanta, Minnesota really reeling after realizing that their season is over. I mean, I'm sure in their mind they're trying to tell themselves they have a chance and whatever. They don't. Forget about it. And I think it's going to show up on the field this weekend. The Falcons, they're live in their division hardcore, and the Atlanta Falcons are definitely going to get this one done. Atlanta Falcons, -4, 2 units. There's just nothing more to say. I mean, the one good thing for Minnesota is their defense has been really good in the last 5 games. They're third best in giving up at least 20-yard plus plays. They're third best in yards allowed per play, and they're fourth best in points allowed, in the NFL. That being said, their offense is going to do nothing this week. Atlanta has a tough defense. They play well at home, and I just think that Kyle Pitts, I think Bijan Robinson, they're going to feed him the ball a ton, and he's going to finally have that big game. He's going to go for probably 150-plus all-purpose yards, 1 touchdown. I think that Kyle Pitts is going to eat. I think Heineke's going to ball out, and I like Atlanta to win this game by somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 to 10 points.
Do you think the Vikings are going to be trying to pull something off just in case Jefferson comes back and it's a miracle with this rookie, or are they going to go lose this game and then time to tank the season?
I mean, it's early for that. They're 4-4, and they got 9 games left. I think that there's plenty of time for them, so we'll just see what happens. Like I said, I think Minnesota, they're not going to go anywhere, but they're definitely in their mind they're hurting. But they still believe they have a shot. They think they can probably still get to 10 wins somehow and then possibly get a wild card. So they're going to put all the effort out this week. They're all professionals, but I think Atlanta's going to come out hungry and at home, and they're going to get it done.
Okay, speaking of tanking, I'm going to let you have this one, and then beyond this point, if you're incorrect, I will never let you be in a video picking this again. Spoilers there. We have the 3-4 Los Angeles Rams visiting the 2-5 Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Packers favored by 3 points. This is huge. You're going to go with?
You mean the Green Bay Packers have lost 4 in a row, and they still have a better record than the New York Football Giants?
Well,
the Packers, of course, we know they've scored 0 touchdowns in the first half of the last 5 games. That's a big problem. They very well easily could be 5-2 and not 2-5. That's the bottom line. No one can debate that. They're a young team. They're the youngest team in the NFL, and no excuses. They're playing poorly. Jordan Love is making bad decisions, and perhaps the play calling hasn't been great, especially in the first half of football games. That being said, the Rams have lost 3 out of 4. Matthew Stafford is doubtful to play with an injury. His backup quarterback is Brett Rippon. No, not Mark Rippon of the Washington Redskins once upon a time in the 80s. This is Brett Rippon. I have no idea if he's related. He could be. But he's been in the league for 4 years, and he has a grand total of 4 touchdowns and double the interceptions with 8. Wide receiver Puka Nacua, who's been a show-out, standout wide receiver for the Rams. He's banged up. Cooper Kupp is back. But guess what? They have a guy named Brett Rippon throwing to him. Green Bay is at Lambeau Field. Their offense is finally healthy. And all I can say is Green Bay is going to win this game. It's not a sexy pick. It's not a pretty pick. People are very unsure about this team. And I get it. The Green Bay Packers have been frustrating to me from a financial standpoint, frustrating to me from a standpoint as a big fan. But guess what? I don't pick with my heart. I don't pick with emotion. I don't let the last prior weeks play into my decisions unless it's logical. But here, yes, sir.
Nephew. It's his nephew.
Whose nephew?
Brett is not Mark's son, but he is Mark's nephew.
Okay, so they have the same
the son
bloodline.
of Mark Rippon's brother.
All right, so.
Thank you, Google machine.
Boom. So Jordan Love, he's going to come back, okay? He's going to have a good game. He's under a lot of pressure. The next 10 games is going to be very telling of what's going to go on with his career, okay? He's going to have to show a little something. Otherwise, Green Bay is probably going to replace him. There's a lot of pressure. This is a city that wins football games for the last 35 years. That's all they do is win. Bottom line, he's going to play a great game this week. He's got his weapons back. I feel like he's going to throw for 275 to 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. You know, he might have a pick. It's possible, okay? A guy named Brett Favre, he threw a lot of picks too. Turned out pretty good. I think Aaron Jones is going to run well, and I think this defense is hungry, okay? They lost one of their stud defensive backs to, traded them away. But Jair Alexander, he is a beast. He's been injured a lot this year, but he's going to come back strong. This team's at home at Lambeau Field, a very tough place to play. Green Bay's going to get it done. Packers -3, 2 units. Take it to the bank. No problem. We're going to talk about this next week, and you're going to thank me when Green Bay gets the win.
Dun, 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 dun. Go, Pack, go! Dun, 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 dun. Go, Pack, go! Hey!
-3. You're not even going to sweat this one out. Take it to the bank. Boom.
Okay, now I know where this is going. Let's look at our 4th pick for the week. The previously mentioned 2-6 New York Giants, who, you know what? They could have also won all those previous games, too, had they just thrown for like 80 yards a pass and the stadium opened up and their team fell in. There's lots of reasons why they could have won every other game, but they haven't.
The Giants couldn't have won a game if Jesus Christ came down and throwing the football for them.
The problem is that Jesus Christ on the field is the refs, and they're like just not giving them any calls anyway. They're playing against our local favorite, the 3-4 Los Angeles Raiders. Raiders are a 1.5-point favorite, even though they just fired their coaching staff and have now benched very expensive quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo for the season. So,
put this in perspective. The Raiders fired head coach Josh McDaniels. Outstanding. The guy is terrible. He should never coach as a head coach in the NFL ever again. He duped the Denver Broncos, got a bunch of money, and now this guy managed to dupe the Raiders, and he's going to get $30 million more for nothing. It's gross. This guy thinks he's a disciple of Bill Belichick, and he's not even close. As far as the Raiders go, yeah, they fired Josh McDaniels, they fired the GM, they fired the offensive coordinator, and they benched the starting quarterback. With all those things, you would think the Raiders would be underdogs to any team on earth, but not your New York Football Giants. The Raiders are 1.5 point favorites against the Giants after all that happening. And the reason being, because Aiden O'Connell's going to come in and he's going to make Devontae Adams very happy. Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers are going to eat. Devontae Adams, our fantasy football guy, and many others out there, put him in. It's going to be a great week. Devontae Adams will go for over 100 yards and probably 2 touchdowns. So prop bettors, run to the book, bet the over on the yards, and bet anytime touchdown. Yes. Otherwise, we got Josh Jacobs. He's been a guy that came off a great year last year, and it's been a rough go for him so far. Josh Jacobs is going to eat this game. Him versus Saquon Barkley. Barkley might get some yards, for sure. He's about the only thing that is going to get yards for that team. Josh Jacobs, on the other hand, he's going to put up 100 yards, all-purpose yards, probably 1 touchdown. And all I can say is Daniel Jones is back. Now, half of his body is numb, so I don't know how he's going to throw a football, but he's coming back because it's that or Danny DeVito as quarterback, and that's not going to happen. Danny DeVito is about as good a quarterback as I would be if I was in the NFL right now. So Danny DeVito is out, Daniel Jones is in, and one Max Crosby is going to introduce him to the ground over and over and over. I figured Daniel Jones is good for 5 sacks, probably 2 interceptions, maybe 1 lost fumble. It's going to be a lot of sadness for Mike. It's going to be a lot of fun for Raider Nation. We're going to take the Raiders minus 1.5 for 4 units, baby. Raiders minus 1.5, 4 units. They're going to pound the Giants out of the stadium on to next week. Giants equal sadness.
You forget who edits the videos sometimes, but speaking of 2 teams that I do wish the field would open up and swallow whole, we have our last pick for the week, 3:30 Eastern Time, the 5-2 Dallas Cowboys at the 7-1 Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are favored by 3. So the Cowboys do own the Eagles in a lifetime series here, 73-55, including 3-1 in the playoffs. Last time these 2 teams played, you thought I was just doing a prop for prop's sake? Christmas Eve last year, Cowboys home game was a high-scoring game. The Eagles lost 40-34, so a 74-point game. They split the season games last year. Eagles just had the aforementioned trouble with the Commanders, allowing them to. This is annoying you, isn't it?
It's good.
Allowing them to purposely make you push a bet by getting a meaningless touchdown with a minute left, but 69 points scored total in that game. Current line is 46.5 on that one. I feel like it's an easy over, but that's when the score ends up being something like 17-14, and it's a defensive slog. So I defer to your greatness on this one against 2 teams that I hope, can they just both lose? That'd be amazing.
You probably want them to end in a tie, or?
Tie or die. I missed what you said.
Oh, jeez. He's so sensitive. Giants, I tell you. Just because once upon a time, a guy named Eli Manning, a helpless little feather, decided to win a couple football games
against one people want to consider the greatest quarterback of all time. You know the other stat that Eli Manning has over Tom Brady?
What?
Eli Manning's family loves him. Too soon?
Wow.
Let's get to the pick.
Woo! All right, here we go. Cowboys took the Rams to the woodshed last week, okay? But here's the problem. The Eagles are a much better team at this point than the Rams. So A.J. Brown is balling out. Only guy playing a little bit better than him might be Tyreek Hill, but you can make the argument that A.J. Brown has been playing better than Tyreek Hill the last 4 or 5 games. So either way, A.J. Brown's a beast. They signed free agent DeAndre Swift last year, or got him in a trade from the Lions. This guy has been balling out of control for our fantasy team, as well as A.J. Brown. Both of them on our fantasy team. Shout out, stacking W's in our fantasy league. Boom. The tush push. It's unstoppable. And it's going to be unstoppable in this game again. It's going to probably, I think they're going to convert in a tush push. You said an over under 6. I'm taking the over on the tush push this week. The Eagles are at home. It's a monster division game. Cowboys, they tend to choke. They don't make it to the playoffs most of these years, in the last 20 plus years. And during the regular season, they always find a way to choke. This is a big game, and I believe that they're going to choke again. And all I got to say is Fly, Eagles, fly. That's right. Eagles are going to run all over the Cowboys. We're taking the Philadelphia Eagles -3, 4 units. It's not even going to be a game. Double-digit win for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is going to get it done. Dak Prescott is going to be Dak is whack as usual. He's going to throw 2 picks probably. Unfortunately, the game's not going to be as good to watch unless you're an Eagles fan, because they're going to roll over the Cowboys and send them back to where they belong, towards the bottom of the division. Boom.
Well, let's be fair. According to you, they could never reach the bottom because that is locked up by one New York Football Giants.
That's very true. So once again, the Cowboys will spend all their time in mediocrity this year as well. Enough said. Fly, Eagles, fly. Get it done. It was a great week last week. This week, we're going to go 5-0 to the bank. I'm loving these picks. I'm loving these games. This is a great time to be alive. We're week 9, halfway through the NFL season. We got to savor it, because before we know it, it's going to be all over, guys. So enjoy it. Let's have fun. Oh, I'm going to be so tired come 4:30 in the morning on Sunday to go to the game. But
and I will be so tired from cheering on the Giants, even though it means you're going to go 4-1 this week. But it's acceptable.
Are you actually going to bet the Giants?
You know what? I should do what our good friend does. Maybe bet the opposite. So either way, I feel like a winner. Like, hey, here's your $80 consolation prize for the Giants losing.
That's probably your smart bet.
Probably the smart bet.
That's your smart play, especially seeing how the Giants are going to absolutely get crushed. They're going to get ran out of the building.
We make the push now. Halfway through the season, time to turn it around as the Eagles and Cowboys fall. Too many injuries in that game. The future is wide open.
Been drinking today already, or?
All right, guys. Thank you.
I guess it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It is. Actually, it's 5:56 here in the studio, and I got to get to editing. So thank you again for watching. I hope you guys followed along last week. I know we've been a little bit sporadic. This guy's recovering, and we're going to start bringing you more videos as usual.
Been rough. It's 2 weeks of being sick, and it's been about 3 years since I've even had a cold. So
I'm looking forward to filming again at the stadium. I haven't been there. Well, I was there for a wrestling event, but it doesn't really count last year. But
it's a great stadium. And shout out to someone that messaged in the comments. They told me how they were in Minnesota, in Green Bay against Minnesota last week. They're from Minnesota, and they brought their son or daughter, I can't remember, first time, and they said they had a blast. And the stadium was nice, and they enjoyed it. And they're actually going to be in Vegas for the Minnesota Raiders game in December. So I told them feel free if they have time before the game to come down to Westgate, say hi. But shout out to them. And yeah.
You guys do the same thing too. I won't be there this weekend, obviously, but Jason will be there bright and early.
Yep, I'll be there with a couple of my friends. I have a buddy in town from Wisconsin, my buddy James. Shout out to him. He actually is currently at the Knights hockey game tonight at 7 p.m. I'm not much of a hockey guy, but I do follow the Knights, and I cheer for them because they're excellent. They're a good team, a lot of energy. They bring a lot of happiness to the city, and they were there for us after the big shooting in October back in the day. So that
help bring the city back together.
They're forever loved by this city, that's for sure. So we'll talk to you guys soon, and yeah.
All right, guys, take it easy. Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll see you next week.
Take it to the bank. Boom.